I don't know. I thought it was, I didn't.
I'm going to apologize up front, everybody. We need to move very quickly. We don't have to rush, but we do have some stops at an hour because like 4 of us, I think, have to leave, including myself. So we'll go through everything, but just try to be short with your answers if you could, please. And some people will be on time.
Are we going already?
6:30 right now. Are we live over there?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I call this meeting to order. Any guests in attendance? Miss Brittany? Hello, Miss Guest. I still think you're part of this anyway. Proxy votes, I have pennies.
I have Hannah's. I have Shiny.
I have Holly's. So that gives us our quorum. Perfect. Is there any additions to the agenda before I close it down and we don't talk about anything else? Because we have a lot.
Well, that's this. It's right here.
I got the imaginary
Okay, we've
thing.
got that.
Okay, we're gonna take them as is.
Okay. I have the old one. I need a new copy.
So, has everybody had a chance to look at the past minutes from last month that Heather sent out?
Sure.
So whenever anybody's ready, I can take a motion to accept or discussions.
Second.
So Kim, okay, and seconded Chris. Okay, all those in favor? Any opposed or abstentions? Okay, we'll take the meeting minutes, approved meeting minutes. I cannot talk, I'm sorry. It's almost like I've been drinking. Treasury report, bookkeeping report, finance committee, all rolled into one.
Okay. I've got a couple of things. The First Western checking is 48,815.22. I sent you copies of this. There's a deposit pending that probably comes tomorrow for about $2,500. It should have been today, but it was because of the holidays late. Savings, there's been no activity since September 30th. The Bremer checking account, I wrote checks on it for the repairs to the heating system and some of the utility bills. So, a current balance of $66,519.02.
The only question I have on new business areas, I wanted to, what was the theater repair, the heater repair?
There was a service on the heating system.
I don't know how much. 6, 7.
It was like around 600,
Okay, that's
roughly.
all. Just in this.
It'll show up on the next month's detail.
That's fine. It was part of the new business areas. That's all.
Okay. Other thing significant, Jerry Jorgensen is moving towards retirement. He's having some health issues, which means that we are going to have to take over producing our own 990s, which is due actually this week. I did file an extension, which gives us until May. The extension was real simple. Address and a code. That's it. It wasn't even a signature on it.
How often are these 990s?
Yearly.
Yearly.
This year. So we have from now to May to reduce it. One of the other things that in researching all of this, I did find that we are obligated to file 1099 miscellaneous for anybody who receives more than $600 in stipends in a year. And I don't believe that includes reimbursements for expenses.
Is that quantitative as in?
Within a calendar year, yes. So totals of more than 600 in the calendar year, we have to file 1099.
That's standard.
It's a standard one. Okay, prior to filing the 1099 report, we need to know a W-9 on file for everybody who's going to get one. So that has to be filled out and filed. We can get blank W-9s off the internet
That's,
easily enough. They just
that's
need to be
if they
filled
go
up.
over 600.
That's if you're expecting more than 600 in a year.
So that means we have to start doing record keeping.
We do.
So
Okay, so I'll just leave that
As
as
of right now, the only person that falls into that category is me.
Potentially, if somebody directs in the spring and the fall, they would also potentially fall. into
potentially
this
could be in
scenario.
that. So we do need to watch that. The accounting for the SRT billing has been updated because it was brought to my attention that we are receiving an in-kind donation from them for internet services. And going over past records is $77.37 each month.
it comes out to $930 a year.
Okay, so what I've done is I went through and updated those postings. So I added that amount to the cost of the utilities and then removed it again into a sponsorship. So the check, the amount of, it doesn't change the amount of the check that we write, but it does change how it's distributed. So that will allow us to account for that properly.
With that, since you're considering it a sponsorship, do we need to update that in our PowerPoint? Sure,
It's,
like that.
it's already in the PowerPoint, the SRT. slide.
Right, SRT is in there already. I just wanted to know if we needed to update or wanted to update
We
it.
should probably update them. Well, it's a sponsor, so.
So they're already on a full-size slide.
Yeah,
on
and I already talked to Brittany Armstrong, and she's fine with the graphic that we already have.
Okay.
So, because I gave it to her.
Perfect.
The only other thing of significance, in early October, the credit card merchant account was changed from Arts People to Neon Pay, which is the parent company of Arts People. Had a couple of ramifications. One was it made it cheaper to do Discover cards. So they're now equal with MasterCard and Visa, and people are using them. So we can use Discover cards now.
We've had some,
The other thing is it changed a couple other things, and none of them are terribly significant. Previously, we would get the invoice on Monday, and the payment would be in the bank on Thursday. Now, when the invoice comes on Monday for the previous week's sales, they will be posted by Monday night. So it advances by, 3 days when we get our payment. It also separates out the ticketing fees are charged as a separate item from Arts People on Thursday. The credit card payment, merchant account fees are deducted from the Monday payment. So now the credit card fees are being counted as general operations expenses. The ticketing fees are charged to the show. Because ticketing fees is based on the number of tickets we sell. So, and that's basically it.
Do we have a monthly treasurer's report? Like income and outgo each month?
It was posted with the, you have a copy?
Yes.
Posted with the financial.
It's on the website then?
Should be
What you're
in
saying?
the Dropbox.
And the finance committee did review those until the points.
So this is on the website.
I am requesting that Ken make sure when he sends out the reports to the finance committee that the board be CC'd so that they have a copy in hand and so they don't have to go asking during the board meeting.
Agreed.
okay. Anything that word from finance committee?
Okay, finance committee met last Monday. I know Kathy's not here. We had discussed because of some of the changes with the tech with the now filing road 1089s, and we would like to consider boosting what like Brittany receives for doing our social media, because she does a lot of work. We are looking into possibly raising the stipends that they receive. We're going to look into how to avoid those people paying taxes on that. And we're currently overlooking possibly going with the contract and treating them as individual contractors. And so one thing we discussed, we also very briefly discussed some of the building repairs and possibly putting those, prioritizing that and doing maybe a project fundraiser for that. That's something we're going to discuss in the next meeting. And we also talked about tried to get an update on the Danny Hansen Daniel Stars, but I believe that's already on the agenda for later in the meeting. So I will over that. Or I will skip over that now.
Okay. Does anybody have any major questions for Ken or Edward? If you have minor questions, I would ask that you please email them. But if anything major, we can discuss now at this moment. As I said, next month we do plan to get the finances out
Oh,
to everyone and earlier, so that people can have them to bring up those major questions.
I'll put them on the meeting notes on the Google Drive. But we should have access to that.
I did miss one thing. We did discuss producing a budget, both a show budget and an operating budget for the theater, and we hope to have that presented to the board next meeting.
Okay. All right. If no one else has any questions, we will move on. Thank you, Edward. Thank you, Ken. Organizational reports. Is there anything from the grant side on Kathy? Nothing. Social media, Ms. Brittany.
Nothing to report.
Okay, we just did the finance.
I had a quick question.
Yes, sir.
On the reconciliation, there was $14 to Facebook that was taken out in October. So that would have been for
For Lily.
Lily.
And I'll look and I'll consider I got the receipt and forward them.
I think you forwarded me. but-
I think so, but I'll double
I
check and make sure.
kind of
I sent
remember
the
that
Lily
one. Okay.
I don't know if, I sent out an email to everybody about I noticed that the board meeting times on Facebook are listed at 7:30, not
Oh.
6:30.
Oh, I wonder if it didn't update with the time change.
change?
So I'll make sure I fix that. Yep. Okay. Thank you for letting me know.
Okay. Box office, is there anything to report right now, Ken?
Not really. It's running really smoothly. We've got a little over 400 reservations. Our tickets sold. So it's going really well.
It's probably all the family.
And it's been really pretty smooth. Smooth as I've seen so far,
I
right?
haven't had any problems yet, so.
No. Other than one little hiccup with the ticketing, with the credit cards and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah, that was kind of horrid.
But we got it resolved.
Past and upcoming shows, obviously upcoming shows. I talked to Holly. I think everything's going okay, I'm assuming. She seems flustered, but otherwise okay.
It's crunch time, we're giving it, posters, we've got 50 people giving them out there, and
Did you start a volunteer list?
I did, I have it here, so if you want me to talk about it right now, yeah. All right, so I've had a mom be working on it, but we would really like, the board to sign up for something, so I'm gonna pass it around, and I would love it if somebody
Start filling it in.
fill it in.
That's what the ink in your pen's for.
That's right.
Okay, anything else, Heather, since you're aren't you executive
Courtney.
or assistant
Yeah.
producer? or
Play-Doh, Courtney's doing that. Volunteer list, no, I think, pretty good. At the top, I have, cleaning for between the 2 weeks, so if people could help clean that, get it cleaned up, and then I know parents will help,
Okay.
spot check.
All right, then we'll consider it good. I'm assuming, and I asked Heather or Holly about this already, about concessions, no alcohol. I think
Yeah, we
would
talked
put
on
in-
Saturday, she's like, oh, and then she's like, well, I guess it's not the right crowd for it, so I'm thinking we're just not going to do it.
We didn't even apply for the license.
Yeah,
so-
so thank you.
Which is good. Okay, moving on to house. Miss
Upcoming
Oakes.
show.
Oh, okay, sorry.
upcoming
I
show.
guess I should have put it on
Auditions for In-Laws Outlaws will be coming up the Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, I believe it is, prior to Lion Witch in the Wardrobe. It's early, but with the Christmas season, I want to see if I can get what I can get ahead of it. I will send out the absolute correct dates and times to everybody on the board, and if you want to forward it on to people, please do, if you know of anybody who might be interested. I will also speak with Holly and the cast. If there's anybody who is in the cast that would be interested, they are more than welcome to contact me, because I know it'll be difficult for them to audition at the same time. I will take them into account and make arrangements as best I can to talk to them, listen to them. I know I can hear them, they're on stage. So, that's one of the big things, is hearing the voices. The poster for the show is already done. And I'm hoping to post it in the extra display so that it can be seen for during the show.
And it's on the website and the ticketing site.
And it will be on Facebook soon. And
Once
you
we
can
get
do
it over.
auditions, I'll make sure to get in the calendar too.
with this. I guess part of this, with this show camp, we need to make sure that in bold on our website about
Yep.
parking. No parking behind us. Have to park back here. Because this is gonna be a heavy show, so
And I can make sure to put it on Facebook too,
Yeah.
where to park,
if you
because
could,
we can park in that lot over,
that's completely
right,
open,
okay,
yes.
perfect. Then I
Anywhere
will
on the street or.
make a little map. And,
But nobody back there, because she's already said they will tow. They have become really bad neighbors. Okay, thank you, Lynn. House matter, Nancy?
I don't really have anything other than I want to recall, we should be keeping a file anytime the building is rented out. We need a file of who's rented it, when they've paid, and so on. We have done that in the past, and I guess I haven't kept up with that. But it came to my attention that we should be doing that. So anytime that there's a contract, the contract got to be signed and filed with us.
Should we be putting in invoices for those and sending invoices?
If they have not paid, absolutely.
Have we gotten the payments for the Matthew Shepherd and the Rocky Bar yet?
Not that I've
Yeah, I have not had a
Then
chance.
they do need to be billed.
Okay, okay.
And we should have it on file.
I'll make sure.
We should have, the contract should be on file so that anytime somebody comes in, we'd be able to say, look, here it is.
I have not as yet set up the accounts receivable portion of QuickBooks, what is it, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
And that would
basically,
be, that would help.
yeah, we need to, so that we have a signature, somebody is responsible for that.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, guys, the other two fall on me, and I have not had any time, so.
The billing is easy, 50-cent stamp or email billing or whatever, reminder. That really, I didn't have anything else to do.
I need it probably more than I do, so I'm going to.
Okay, all right, anything else? Concessions, obviously I will buy concessions the week of the show. So,
It's something I wanted to bring up, just an idea. It's nothing firm right now. Bryce Guy Bread is opening a bakery just down the street. And it's Jasmine and Zach Wolf. Is it Zach?
yeah, exactly.
Jasmine and Zach are involved in it. I don't know the other people, but thought occurred that it might be an opportunity for some kind of cooperative venture. They can promote their information, could do some cross promotions. It's worth exploring. Nothing solid, but maybe not time for this show, but something to explore for the future.
Along those lines, I was in Marketplace the other day and I saw a whole bunch of checks, that they've given checks to various organizations. And they used to give us cookies just
Yeah.
as a simple request. They'd give us hundreds of cookies. So it might be time to ask them again.
I have been in contact with the manager at the store on 20th, and they no longer do that.
What are those checks above? How do you get a grant then?
It's a grant process.
Okay.
We have to put that request in.
Okay, that
That's
would be a
something we need to go through Kathy.
Yeah, that'd be a great
Because
one to get.
I finally did get a chance to talk to him at the corporate office in Fargo about giving us like a donation of all our concessions, and they simply won't do it. So
Any parents interested in bringing treats this time, do you think?
I had the mom that's been doing this asked me, you know,
Right.
would you like
They
that?
sometimes like it.
And I said, well, maybe not, maybe you just for the kids, you know, treat, you know, but just because of last time, I just didn't know if you wanted that. So.
And do you know if Calix is still doing the cookies?
I believe so. Do they still sell?
Because that might be another option if
Calyx.
if the cookies from Marketplace are getting too expensive, then it might be worth taking a look at Calix and finding out, because they're smaller cookies, I know that, but this is supposed to be a nice little thing for our patrons, not something
I mean,
that
they're
we're
really-
gaining money
They
off
make
of.
really good cookies.
They're wonderful.
And,
Calyx
and
cookies are
if
wonderful.
they're less expensive, then it might be something to look into.
Even if they're the equivalent in price. it's still-
seems how I'm the one that usually buys, I'll call them.
Yeah,
At least investigate.
Yeah, if you're ever in the lobby at First Western Bank, they have cookies out.
Yeah.
That's where they come from.
That's where they come from. They're very, very good.
Or I'll reach out to Prairie Sky and Calix to see what they say. Kids program, anything right now?
I know we're gonna table that till January.
Newsletter,
She's been, excuse me, Holly's been getting things ready. She was doing an interview with EJ Rose, who was the artist. She's also, did she get your information? She's been asking for that, or talking to me about getting the audition information.
I did send one out with the audition information
So she's-
a week ago.
Okay, so she's probably just waiting to do an
We
interview.
actually have pretty good hits on it, so.
Okay, so, yeah, that's as right, because I can't say on that day.
okay. Fundraising and promotion, anything there?
I've been trying, I had a meeting supposed to last week with the Bear Scat, and she hasn't to call me back, so I'll try again tomorrow. I don't know.
Okay. Season.
Yes, we have met twice. I'd like to make sure that Erica's name is added to the part of the committee. And then Kenna and Eiley have both expressed interest, but have not attended either of our meetings yet. But Erica was at our last meeting. We've had a lot of really good ideas. The plan right now is not first, but 4 of the shows will be kind of throwbacks to the past decades that Mouse River Players has been around. And then ending with something brand new that we've never done here at Mouse River Players. It would be fun if it was something that's never been done in town, but the options for that are much fewer. So we've generated quite a long list of shows right now. Certainly open to additional shows if people have suggestions. And our next meeting is the 20th. And we are going to come kind of with 5 shows in the sort of season order to present to the committee to decide, as possibilities, obviously with the opportunity to swap out, rearrange, and things like that. And I believe we were hoping to be able to present a tentative season in February or May.
February or May, or do you mean February or March?
February or March. You're right. February or May. Somewhere in
One letter
between.
off.
Somewhere in there.
I'm sitting over here
December,
freezing.
Only one letter off.
I know.
19,
Anyway,
20.
February or March.
Okay,
Sounds good.
thank you, Ms. Britton. Tenant building, there's no movement there. I simply did not send out an email yet about the windows.
Small movement in tenant building. Tim and I did move the rolls of carpet into the building.
Okay, got it. So it doesn't look like trash.
Question, who has the key to the garage door or the front door? Because
So all
the keys that are in there do not open those doors.
So the garage door does not have a key, that I remember. You talk about the little one on the side. There's no key.
Yeah,
You
the
have to
one
get
at
to
the
it from
access
the
door
inside.
we used to go into.
Right.
Yeah,
There's only keys that Asia
Yeah.
gave me.
But the
And then the main door is in there.
the
the one
key
to
that's
the front
labeled,
door, the one onto the street,
There's a key in there.
it does not work. None of the keys work.
That's the only keys that I have. They're all hanging in that black box.
we'll test them again. Maybe
So
something happened, or
could be.
I don't know,
But
or
they,
maybe something got jammed. in
the
wall.
door I usually
Yeah.
go into is the side door in this parking place.
Yeah, the alley door, the
Yeah.
garage door. And none of the keys would open that door. I tried, Tim tried, Ed tried.
You might try again because I've gone in there hundreds of times with that key. So
Something.
we'll take a look. All right, anything sponsorship, Heather?
Good. No, I'm good.
It's all you.
Right.
And there is one other committee I forgot to put on here is the Gala Committee. Miss Nancy, thank you for starting the process. I know you had to back out for reasons. I did send out an email. I had several people already respond that they were willing to help. I don't remember who those names are right now. Okay. Yeah, you were one. Penny was one. You were one, I think. So I mean, we're starting. So we'll pull something together. New business, Nancy, bylaws.
Yeah, that's probably really old business because the bylaws are old.
So
So my bringing it up is a request that a committee be formed to update the bylaws. This is prompted by, I happen to serve on another board and I'm involved in updating bylaws, so I've got bylaws coming out of my ears. We really need to update things regarding proxy votes, their limitations, their usage and so on, and also the allowance of email votes to reflect what we do, and it should be legal and it should be in our bylaws. So that's really why I wanted to get it on to do business, so we can get a committee going to go over it with a fine tooth comb, legal advisor, whatever. I'm specifically looking at our voting processes.
we were originally going to put it under the finance committee, but we're going to pull it out and bring it to its own. I think it needs its own attention.
It does. We tried to tackle it. There's so much there.
I agree.
So I'll send out an email to see if anybody's interested in being on another committee. We'll just
Okay,
keep
well,
it rolling.
I
And Nancy's
will,
on.
I will be on that committee, but I
Oh,
certainly don't want to be alone.
And I will work with Nancy on it since I tried to do some updates about 6 years ago.
Does anyone want to say chair of the committee or?
Well, I'll chair it.
Okay, so I'll put you down as chair for now.
I'm not looking for immediate results because it is,
It's going to take
A
some
process.
time.
It's a process.
Okay, thank you, Miss Nancy.
David would love to help.
yes, he would. Thank you, John. Thank you, John.
Now you can take your tongue, out of your cheek there,
And I'm going to have David get in touch with John.
So Miss Lim, KMSU auction.
I saw in the paper that they were announcing the KMSU auction was coming up, and I know that historically, we donate tickets to it.
Season
Does-
passes.
Anybody know, well, I think they used to be individual tickets.
I think we
Now-
gave it.
I can tell you what we did.
Okay,
As part of a package, it would be 2 season tickets, and they would put that in with a big theater package, Oak Park, all of this would be in a package. In addition to that, we threw in every basket that they auctioned, we threw in 1 ticket for one
That might
person.
be a little
one show.
difficult to do with the number of,
Bill
it-
like sponsor.
my
That's what we
point
did.
being that since we have historically done this before, I'd like to put it out there. I have no contact. I have to see it in the paper. If anybody knows of a contact that these things
I
could
can't
be
believe
dealt
they haven't
with.
contacted us.
But for the Flex passes, just send me the codes and I can make the sheets up.
I have friends on my Facebook page that are part of it, so I can
I'm
reach
right
out
next
to
door
them.
to
If we
Neil
can make,
I know.
if we can make some contact, we
That's
can
not
offer the
I
tickets.
think it's a really good idea. And one of the reasons why is we had, one of the people that was head of security from Wyandotte State got them last year. He's been coming to shows ever since, bringing friends.
It's a lot of
It is a
advertising.
huge audience builder.
They say our name. over and
Also,
over and
in
over.
connection with that, they had been asking for a representative to come and talk about the seasons upcoming and the shows that we have. And depending upon if it is after school time, Brittany has offered to be that representative again.
That would be great.
So it's just now getting the contact and knowing where to send things and who to talk to, and they can talk to me about where to send things and Brittany about coming and talking about MRP.
So I guess what was the question? So yes, we're doing it.
Okay, I would like, I'm
She's looking for
throwing it
contact.
out, I would just like agreement that we are actually going to
Yes, let's do it.
do this.
We've done it before. I don't think
who
we
might
need a
have
motion.
contact.
No, I don't think we need to vote on it.
But,
Yeah, I
Okay.
It's
don't
just
like-
done before.
but do you want me to tell Neil Roberts to talk to you?
Sure, unless you wanna be the connection.
Well, it's a student that does it, so it's
Yeah.
student run. It should be.
Yeah.
And my contacts are students.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
just
Go for
K
it.
and MSU
Yeah.
stand for. I might have got a voicemail about it.
MSU is obviously
Yes.
Wyandotte State University.
Just,
K is
K.
radio,
K is
radio
radio.
MSU or,
Yeah.
radio station.
Get me the information, I will send you the codes.
The K is a designation for radio and television.
I'm waiting.
It's
waiting
all
to
over
talk
the
to you about
Mississippi.
it.
On the west side
Yeah,
of the
I'm
Mississippi,
sure
it's K, on the east side, it's
I would be very surprised if they hadn't.
Okay, so now you had something else with the Magic.
Well, I can go to a MagicCon. Brittany has put up a proposal
It's not,
regarding a MagicCon.
it's not.
We
on
don't
the
have it here.
So-
She got it to me late. I will email the proposal to everybody so you can take a good look at it. She has already submitted an application and it's already been approved and accepted by a MagicCon. They really want us back.
So dates.
It is April 24th through 26th, which is the actual convention is a Friday through Sunday. Moving in vendors on Thursday. We have been getting a double booth for $150 plus tax. And that gives us lots of room to be able to do things. And we usually get additional vendor passes in addition to what they give us so that we've got a lot of better ease in transitioning from person to person when we've got somebody upstairs doing a makeup show and then, whatever. She estimated the total cost being $210 plus tax and would like to know if she can send that out as soon as possible so we can confirm and get the best option.
I
So-
think
Forward with it.
I think we do, it's advertising. Any
And we
advertising
have
we do.
gotten some very useful people who have signed up from past MagicCons. And so,
I don't think we need to vote on that either since we've done it over and over.
Ongoing.
okay, can she go ahead and send out the money that's needed? There we go.
Okay.
That takes care of that. Next thing in my line looks is the David Wiley music lessons. I got the call that Heather sent me was from David Wiley, who used to do music lessons at Jacobson's, but because of their turnover of ownership, they're not allowing it anymore. He was looking for a place to have an ongoing room where he could give music lessons. I just don't see where we have the facility to be able to
My
do
only-
that.
Issue is that Holly also had a person, so if we're doing it for one, we go, think about too.
That's the same,
And then
that's the
it's
same
like,
person, isn't it?
oh, I bet you said it was some lady.
Yes, but she was calling for David Wiley,
Oh, it's the
because
person.
I ended
Okay.
up getting the call from David Wiley as well, because they got the name, yeah,
Okay, same
so.
person,
So when does he want to start?
He would start anytime, and what he's proposing, he gives drum lessons. And I spoke to him personally on the phone today, and it came through a friend of Holly's who blah, blah, anyway, he got my name. And I told him that I believed it was certainly a board decision, but I felt it was highly unlikely that we would be able to do that, because we do charge for use of our facility, and he was looking for some kind of an exchange. In the past, he had done some work when Kari Conrad was on the board. Kari brought him in and he did some painting and some miscellaneous handiwork, which was fine. It was nice. I said at the time, we now charge for our building, and I led him to believe that we would be probably not openly able to do it at this time.
So I have a theory.
The other thing, if just while I think of it, the other thing is that we have as a policy that if someone is using our building, we have to have a board member present. That would also
That was,
create the
that'd be
problem.
my
So-
issue, because someone would have to be present, or he would have to have his own access to the building.
And he would have to, it would be a key, it would be kids, it
And it's
would
liability.
be
It
liability.
is, it is.
But go ahead, Randall, I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, we have one other option if he's willing to help us, and that is the building next door.
I wouldn't count on it.
I'm not saying, I'm just putting it out there that if he's willing to help us clean stuff, there's a possibility we could block off that front room over next door to where the kids couldn't go downstairs or upstairs.
The one consideration that I would have with even offering that right now is how much work needs to be done to make the building
I'm not
usable.
talking about the building, just
Well,
that
even,
part.
we need to have it so that heat can be put in.
When he's working.
Right, but I mean, so you're not freezing. I've been over there. It's pretty damn cold.
Doesn't-
And there would have to be bathrooms available.
Well, there would be stipulations.
Yeah,
I
well,
was
but,
just throwing it out there.
yeah, I don't see it as
Maybe
being
it's
really
a
a
very
viable,
long-term solution, I don't see this as a short-term solution.
certainly not as a short.
That's fine. I was just throwing it out there.
But I did also offer, I said, we have, people on the board who may have some ideas. I would be happy to call them back. If you have any suggestions, do you think there's another, like, it's talked about networking. Could he ask at the Carnegie, could he, I don't know. Carnegie just came in my head right now.
The Carnegie, actually, you can rent it from the city, but it's like $100+.
Well, anyway,
Little
I could
much
tell
for
him to-
music lessons.
I could tell him to call. Anything else? Any idea anybody would have of a? I mean, he's a nice young man. I don't have any.
And
What
this-
MSU?
Oh, yeah, this past summer, and fired everybody that used to work there,
Really?
yes. The only person who's still there is one of the Jacobsons.
Okay, we gotta get moving, folks.
Well, if anybody thinks of any other suggestions, for him, and if you wanted to visit with him, Randall, I can certainly put you in touch with him.
I don't know what I was visiting for.
Well, I'm just thinking about that.
I mean, I'm just
You
saying,
wanted to pursue
if he's like doing some kind of service in kind, it might be a way for us to fix up a building one room at a time. With the option that bathrooms are over here, but then again, it's all
But then
Getting in the
access
building.
to here.
There'd be nothing now.
right.
Nothing now.
Nothing now. Okay.
Okay, Heather,
I had a guy, his name is, I don't know, Jeff or something, that he called on Friday, I believe, and asked if we would be interested in, putting a business card size ad in like their pamphlets for golf. It's
Pardon?
Garden Golf Club. And he said, we get 15,000 golfers through here a year, and it's this little pamphlet thing, and there's only 20 company businesses that can have and if we chose it, then no other, which we don't really have a competitor, but no other competitor could be in there. It was on Friday $425 to be in the pamphlet for 1 year. That came with like an artistic designer of it. he lowered the price to $399 today. And he said, we have 2 spots left. I said, I'm meeting with the board, I'll address it, and I'll let you know either way tonight. So
One concern I have is that their season
They're in the
doesn't
summer.
fit very well with ours.
Right,
Exactly.
there's
Right.
there's
We
some
get a lot of
summer,
visitor golfers. So
Yeah.
A lot of, that's not 15,000 different people.
It's 50,000 rounds of golf.
and just as a sideline, we have in the past turned down being put on the placemats at homesteaders, kind of for the same situation that they're requesting a sizable amount for an ad that was a teeny tiny thing. So,
Great, I will tell him no.
So, okay, I don't know who was wanting to talk about this, but the request for fundraising celebration for Ellie, whoever.
I printed it off.
I read it, I read the email and I thought, good grief, who in the world are these people? And then I read further and I recognized the people. And Dr. Sharma was my doctor. I loved her dearly. I see no reason why we couldn't support this. It's out of our.
My reasoning on it, I support it. And my reasoning is it doesn't cost us anything out of pocket to do the season pass, do packets or passes.
Right.
It's good public relations and it's an audience building thing and it helps them.
And it's our neighbor,
And they're
Tommy's
doing
our
it
neighbor,
through the
really.
Talby.
Yeah.
Again, it doesn't cost us anything
Nothing
to
out of
at
pocket.
least donate.
I would also
season pass.
encourage us to attend.
We don't even use chairs because if they don't call them, they don't.
Yeah.
Zero.
So I would.
We should be giving
I will
passes
move
out
to
on the
support.
street.
This is a new thing for us.
Okay, I'll
So,
second it.
so Chris is gonna do a sandwich
how
for
many?
Broadway.
Oh, jeez.
We typically get 2 seasons.
But it's negative.
That's-
So
Can I
we-
ask a motion by second?
All those in
Again, you
favor?
get me the phone.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, carrying on. Do you have all that, Deborah? Okay, so
Information off of here.
the only thing I have here for the main theater heater repair was just to let y'all know that it was repaired. Obviously around $500-600. It was a circuit that was out in the heater itself. And then the other thing was the misfits of Monarch. Want to know about possibly using the theater again in sometime in January. I said I had to check with Lynn for the next show.
Being as they have not paid us for the first 2,
That's not their fault, that's mine.
well, but they are responsible for getting us the money. I mean, they're the ones that requested the site. But you have any idea what dates?
She's waiting on us to tell her if it's a yes, what date it would be with you, because you're the owner of the theater.
Right, and that is going to be when I'm going into high gear, because my show is the last 2 weeks of January, so I'll be going into high gear right after the first of the year.
It was in the first 2 weeks of January that would work better than not this way.
Yeah,
So,
I would say January's a no on that one.
I would rather say no, rather than taking a chance of needing the time and not having it.
so can I pose to them like a different date, like February?
I will be done as of the end of January. I know Tim will be starting up with Blythe Spirit. So it would kind of be up to him on that.
A very short gap in between.
So I'll let them know.
So
January's
I would-
out.
I would say they would have something available for very early February. But again,
What's the last date of your show?
17th,
Okay. So I'll let them know, no January, but maybe February if it's very early.
if it's early.
Okay, and then the other part was SRT sponsorship we already talked about. Just so everybody knows
But
they
can
are.
I,
Sorry, go ahead.
no, but can I ask, don't we do this for our sponsors? Don't we give our sponsors tickets?
Yeah, and Ken and I are already working on the tickets to them.
for them, but don't we do this for all
We
sponsors?
do,
Yeah.
we do.
Okay.
But what we've done on other sponsors,
Okay.
which is smaller ones, we've done,
This is just, I should have put that in information. Edward, downstairs bathroom,
Yes,
I threw that on there.
well, I sent out an email, the downstairs bathrooms. Each restroom has one working toilet, as it is now. Not sure if it's going to be worth doing any repairs, if it would be better to do a replacement. I still would like to take a look at the quote we received from Ralph's last time and what their quote included, and see if maybe we can cut that down. I just know that there's going to be a lot of replacement piping probably, because a lot of it's older, it's corroded. The restrooms need work, and see if maybe we want to start on seeing if we're going to repair that, if we're going to replace it, if we're going to do something else with the space.
Edward, would you get an updated quote for us? If you look at the other one or whatever, get an updated one? I know things change so quickly with.
I don't believe so. I might just end up calling them and asking to see if they still have the quote on file.
So I just made a note, just forward it to you too.
Yeah.
Because I have it.
We have it somewhere,
It's on my desk at home.
but we'll take a look at that, kind of pick it apart.
Yeah, it'll be important for our future, I think.
Okay. So Edward, night at the museum.
Okay, so Night at the Museum starting, it's already done. Sorry, I'm thinking about something else. We went to the Night at the Museum fundraiser done with the Air Museum, and we were approached by Robin. I can't remember exactly what her last name was, but they were, before this one, they were interested in getting in touch with one of the local theaters, because they were looking for actors to play parts of previous pilots, kind of to tell their stories, and they're interested in possibly doing some work with us next year at their next fundraiser. So I just wanted to gauge to see if there was any interest in that. Obviously, it's quite a long ways off.
Could we
No, go ahead.
potentially use like access to like our social media to put word out to our community for actors for them?
Yep, and that's what I brought up, that we could put out a call.
That might not
We
register
could
too.
put out a call for actors and kind of help arrange that for them and see if
Are they thinking of it in terms then of co-fundraising? I mean, would we share?
I don't, from when I spoke with her, I believe there was interest in us receiving the funds of the fundraiser, but we could definitely probably receive recognition, or I wanted to kind of gauge and see if there's any interest, or maybe we could charge them.
It
a
was
fee
a
for
very,
our time and
it was a
service.
very
Casual.
general, casual conversation. We were there. Katie Allers was talking to us. She in turn passed us on to Robin, who was incredibly enthusiastic that she finally made a connection with
I know that they
somebody.
reached out to MSU before too.
It makes sense to pursue the.
She had no contact with.
I feel at the very
Contact.
least we could use it to get some more name recognition, get some kind of advertisement out there.
Yeah, I mean, an audience there could potentially be an audience here.
You know, like especially if you get our name on their advertising network, it would be helping them.
So
It would be
what,
great.
so what do you ask?
I want to gauge to see if there's interest from the board to proceed with that, and maybe contact her and kind of iron out some details.
Sure.
I
Right.
would
I think it's worth
Being, like,
talking.
saying that we can put out like the call to, but we couldn't guarantee the actors.
Yeah, tell
No,
them we're
I think
interested.
she also was kind of looking for some advice as well of what could be done to tweak what they already had in place to maybe,
Technical direction type things.
you know, I
Yes.
mean, we got talking about other themes they could do.
If this is
and-
something we want to do, it's possibly something that we could have one of our directors kind of spearhead. Arrange that.
Let's put it this way, the Knickerbockers were there, the Knickerbockers went, hey, that sounds cool. So obviously we would be there to help out.
I did tell her I'd bring it up with that. I'd already.
Yes. Oh, I
So-
certainly think.
So I say the Knickerbockers just volunteer.
Well, you know,
Pursue
in
it.
essence, we probably would because it was just a fun evening. But rather than just make it us coming out of left field, we thought it would be nice to try and incorporate people from MRP if they were interested, so that it brought MRP a little bit of recognition rather than just a couple of people helping volunteering.
Just as a side note, if I grow my mustache out, I'm a dead ringer for Kent Peach.
He was there.
I know.
So folks, we gotta keep moving, sorry. So, yes, carry on, I suppose.
I noticed it was on here. I did ask to get it added for the Good Night Minot. We're just possibly, I think we have enough volunteers for this weekend coming up. And I don't have any volunteers for the show on December 28th. So if you would like to volunteer, maybe get in for free because it is sold out, let me know. We might need some more volunteers to help out with some of the technical side of it.
Is that what their next show is?
Yep, so the November 16th, I think we have enough volunteers.
What about
We
like
may
our
need more.
concessions and stuff?
We're
Are
not
we-
doing
We're
that
not
there.
doing
Not
it.
doing
Texting what?
So right now,
Are we losing them?
because I've been in touch with Joan.
No, that's what you're
checking it.
So they're,
But I'm talking about concessions.
so I'm gonna tell you,
They're-
so they're coming in on Wednesday to do a pre-run, dry show run, for an hour, whatever. So I'm gonna meet them for that here, and then Saturday, they're gonna come into the theater at 12 after Holly vacates at noon. And then Starving Rooster will be here around 4 to set up for alcohol. That's all they're having is beer and soda and wine or whatever. And then their show's at 6:30. It is sold out as of yesterday. They're bringing all the props. I already talked to Brittany about lights. She's already kind of got an idea of lighting for Lion Witch and the Wardrobe, so she's going to also give them a couple lights for theirs. And I said I would be here to help her do all of that. So everything's taken care of. But we do just know that if you're wanting to come to the show, just because you're an MRP person does not mean you will get in for free, because it is completely full. They did sell 220 tickets.
I was just gonna say, what is their full count?
So they're going to need every chair in the building. And that's, we
Plus-
counted the chairs. We have exactly 231 chairs.
And are they cleaning up
They're
afterwards?
going to do everything. Yes. They know what they have to do.
The only thing they really need help with is running the technical side with our systems.
And I will be here, Brittany will be here, and I think you'll be here.
So, but right now, no one has signed up for December. So if you have any interest, let me know as soon as possible.
I do.
After meeting, I have some concerns that came up in discussion before the meeting regarding Midnight Minot that I'd like to get clarified, just so I don't get upset.
Okay, Ken, web design?
I need someone to help out with some web design, so we can talk.
Yes, that's
Okay.
Okay. What's your name?
Yes.
Okay, then the big monkey in the room is Lights, the Hess grant. So, no, we have not received the check as of today. I did talk with Julie Vetter and Hess yesterday. The check has been cut. The check, we believe, is sitting on the desk of the guy who cut the check still, because they looked yesterday. So yes, the lights have been delayed. However,
Is the check being mailed to their office?
it's being mailed directly to us.
To what address? To the PO box?
Because I told them where to go.
1645, okay. I've been trying to check that regularly, but
There has been a lot of discussion via email. I want everybody to have a clear understanding of what's happening. If we were to use money out of our funds before the check got here, that is not illegal. It is completely legitimate if that's what we wanted to do. I'm not saying that's what we do, but it is, we have every right to use money and replace it with known monies coming in. Yes, it's a risk if Hess didn't pay us, but Hess has been around for 84 years as of this year. I don't see that happening. However, moving on. The next piece of this puzzle came up about installing the lights mid-season. So I spoke a little bit with Hess because they are the ones that are being the generous people to give us this money. Their understanding was that we would put the lights in when we got the money. So originally the plan was to put the lights in conjunction with the lights that are up in the ceiling already, not changing anything except adding. Once we knew that the lights were working the way we wanted, then the old lights would be pulled out or taken down. If you don't know how our system works, just a very brief study lesson. Everything in our ceiling will work with those lights and the old lights at the exact same time. It's just a matter of turning the power up or down on the light pack. The light pack just has to be turned on to 100% full power, and then that literally makes it like a plug in the wall up on the ceiling.
You can't use a dimmer channel to power the LED lights. It does not work.
We can change.
Very bad idea.
But we can change.
We have outlets.
Right.
We have all the outlets we need in the ceiling. We do not need to add anything.
So our plan, just so everybody knows, our plan was to add the lights in conjunction with the old.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Just a question to clarify what Ken just said. I know I'm probably wrong, so that's why I'm asking. The new lights can't be on dimmers?
They can't be on a dimmer
On a
pack.
dimmer pack. So our plan,
LED lights operate a little differently. Plug them into a 110 volt outlet, period. Then they're all digitally controlled by DMX signals.
like computer,
So you do not,
they're wireless.
the tungsten lights are controlled with the dimmer pack where it's actually adjusting not the voltage, but how the power is sent to the outlets. And what it does is it's technical, but it generates it into a square wave. So it just changes it changes the character of the power that controls the tungsten lights. It makes them brighter or dimmer. Okay,
So-
because that happens, you can't plug into one of those dimmer channel outlets with an LED light, it'll destroy it. You can't do it.
We've already talked with.
Okay.
to
They can
They
Be
take
adjusted.
very minimal power. We have outlets up there by the projector.
To
We have
answer
outlets.
this question quickly, because we're running out of time, we can actually plug up to 15 of these lights into one circuit in the ceiling. And we have over 10 circuits up there that can be plugged into.
it's not
We're fine with,
We're
my
fine with
question isn't the power. My question is, if I want my lights to go up and down during my show, can that be done?
yeah, absolutely.
That's what I needed to
Absolutely.
know.
So-
that's what I was
This is
not
Let me give you a
understanding.
little-
Purchase of fixtures.
Let me
That's
put a little
what I was
update
trying to
in
understand.
here. One of the things that's happened is because the existing PC Sage software is completely inadequate. It only has 32 channels available. Completely inadequate. It hasn't been updated in 6 years and it's not being supported anymore. So we needed an alternative. Found one that functionally looks a lot like PC Stage. It was designed by the technical director of a theater at the Blackfriar Theater in Rochester, New York. So this is the guy who wrote the software, is the guy who uses it in the theater, in the live theater. So it's specifically for that. He also has a sound software, which I purchased for this show. It's in use. You hear the sound going? It's in use right now. We have not purchased the lightboard software, but the lightboard software that can be put in and used with the existing lights right now and add the digital LED lights on
As we go.
as we get them, we can add them in without even changing the lightboard
Okay.
software.
So in other words, your show then, because you would be affected, you would still have full function of every light in the house, no changes.
No, as I said, I just wanted a clarification on that, because when he said it, my mind went, oh, wait.
No, it has full control, not just with the tungsten lights, you can control up and down. With the LEDs, half of them are light. You can change the temperature of the light from a very blue to a yellow, to a very,
Without the use of
sunset.
gels.
There's no
Without the
gel.
use of gel. Half the
These-
lights
these
are hex color. You can do, they said every color except brown. You can mix pretty much anything.
So these lights are
It's all
all
fully
gel.
controlled.
There's
You
no
don't
gel
need gels.
or anything.
So anyway,
I'm sorry to rush for time, some of us have to leave. So I did speak with Hess, a few of my colleagues there, because it's kind of a off the cuff kind of thing, was what were they expecting when we got the money? They are expecting us to put the lights out during this season. So there was questions and emails flying around like crazy. Some of you were copied, some of you were not, just whatever. That they are looking for when we get that check drop, they want those lights in. So Ken and I have been working on this with a few other people. It behooves us to get those lights going as soon as that check arrives. We can wait at least that long because it should be here within a week or so, hopefully, or we'll fly down there and kill them ourselves. But just know that it's not going to affect anything for your show because you're the one that would be affected. If anything.
Oh, yeah.
we are gonna put up the sidebars.
Now, we're not-
You asked about.
Another thing Ken and I discussed was not even taking the other software out at the moment, leaving it as is, but running them in conjunction with each other until we were comfortable. So, does that work with everybody? Does everybody have any other questions? Yes,
Do we need to buy light board software?
Yes.
Yeah.
$199.
but it's all part of the package.
It's part of the grant.
Yeah, I've been in email contact with the office.
It was a yes or no question.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
So I
We need one
wanted
other piece of hardware.
to clarify these things because in the emails, they were very heated, unintentionally, and people got frustrated, so we needed to clear this up quickly. So does anybody else have any question, qualm? Yes,
Of course it's gonna be.
you're fine.
What did you-
But so at this stage, we're not advancing money to purchase right now. When the check comes, we purchase.
The only,
That's fine.
the only
The
reason,
only thing that it isn't even caution or anything because putting them up is not the big thing. My biggest question is, will we have enough time to learn the new system for those people who wish to learn how to use it?
With the
Because-
software, yes.
But
will.
if the old lights will be accessible and usable as an interim, then that's fine, because then my show, if it turns out if we use the old ones, we're cool with that. And then perhaps by Blythe Spirit, there would be enough knowledge that has been gleaned that the new ones
We'll
could
be
then
able
be
to
used.
one conjunction both software and lights. We've got plenty of computer equipment to do it, we've got everything. So the answer is yes.
It will be, they will learn.
Yes or no?
So yes, Kevin, you have a
Oh.
question?
My question was answered.
So we don't need to vote on anything because this is all going to take care of. I just want to clarify.
The only money that would be advanced would be, I think, $164 for the adapter, which is written in as the grant, as part of the grant. But it's necessary, if we take that, if we get that and the software, then we can get it set up with the existing lights, we'll be able to control the existing lights. And switching from one to the other is a simple matter, unplug it here, plug it in here.
And the only reason we advanced some of the money was even a question was because we wanted to have it before Lion Mission. But that's a no point. at this point.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to move on, folks. Sorry. If you have any other questions, email. Old business, Lynn, update on Daniel Starks.
I called Dan Hansen back, I never received a reply, and Nancy found that they were having the show the day before the day that they'd asked for us, so My assumption is that they
Yeah.
found another venue that was probably not charging,
Okay.
so.
And then Doug McGraw, I finally got an email out to him after I found an email, thank you, Kim. So I'm just waiting for a response.
Now that is the next day after Good Night Maya.
But his setup, from what I understand, is minimal. Like he runs everything and all we have to do is turn the lights.
Kind of like the kangaroo.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's a one van show. Okay, any other announcements or reminders before we break? Okay.
Oh,
No,
yes.
no, it's too late.
If anybody has anything of note they would like to put up for advertisement when we're going to be starting the advertisement with the Good Talk. So they want to get that started. Do you have anything theater related?
You mean like announcements, like Lynn's auditions?
Like Lynn's auditions. I was already have that on my plate. I'm going to get that from you. But if anybody
Yeah,
else can
that
think of anything,
Yeah.
we'll
Start advertising the
Yeah,
show too.
Yep.
The season.
Make sure you,
Parts
So,
of the season.
We did have 2 sales tickets already.
so just so anybody doesn't know, the Good Night Maya is basically a late night talk show.
I got it. It's in today's paper.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be pretty well received.
Sounds like it.
They're expecting to make this grow pretty quick.
They sold out their first show.
That's,
Now bear in mind, there's 40 tickets that were given out to sponsors that they gave out. But he's pushing them to say, you're either there or I'm selling the seats, because they want to be a full house with camera activity. So, okay, next meeting, December 9th, unless otherwise noted. Thank you, everybody. Meeting is adjourned.
No, I don't have